It was good.
Okay, so the next section of our class,
Isn't it nice?
everybody's a member of CRMLS, correct?
Yes.
I suggest you practice on this as much as you can. Go to the classes at the board if you don't know anything or you feel like you need to have more training.
They have in-person classes as well as the webinars, right? 'Cause
Yes.
I've been looking at some of
Yes,
them.
but you know, I don't think I use this to 100% of its capacity. It's sort of like my brain.
They have a lot.
There's so much on here that you can do and so much that you can learn,
Yep.
and you can't go to enough classes to learn it. But
Even
without
BRE also has.
But this is, without this, you guys have nothing, because this is where all your inventory is. So pretend if you were in a car dealership, right? If you only could sell the cars on your lot, what would you do? You could only, if someone wanted a blue car and you only have green cars. Okay, so this is inventory for you. So this is, without this, you guys don't have anything. So what we're going to do is talk about doing a market analysis or a CMA for a seller. We have to pick somebody's house.
You want to use
You do
mine?
mine.
Okay, good. I don't have no idea. I don't know anything about your house.
I know. That's what.
So let me just, this is, like I said, there's so much to learn on this, and the part of this CRMLS that I love the most is realist tax. The reason for that is I'm a really nosy person. Okay, so I'm just going to tell you what happened today. Brandon's father called me today. You didn't know that, did you?
No.
Brandon's dad called me, and the house across the street from him
Oh,
was
yeah.
broken into, and Brandon's father said, you know what, the detective called me today. Who's the owner? And I'm like, oh, let me look that up. So it's the house across the street from Brandon's house. And all you have to do is put the address in here and hit search.
No city?
No.
Oh.
And I guess it's not going to work. Don't do this to me, please.
Oh.
Oh, well, maybe that's the wrong. What's the address, Brandon? Do you remember?
It's across the street from me, so maybe it's 41.
No, I thought your dad said 7. I have it. Well,
Well, try 41.
okay, so I don't know the address, right? This is what's so phenomenal about this thing. I go to my search, and I'm like, I can't remember the owner's name, but you know what? I do know some stuff. So people come into my open house, and sometimes they're not very forthcoming with all their information, and I'm like a little sneaky detective, and I'm like, huh, you live in Whittier? You live in a condo? Huh? And your last name is, and guess what? I can find out exactly where they live and get their address. So, city is Downey, and we know the street name is 3rd, and the house number, since Brandon's is, what is your number?
7738.
So I'm going to go 7700 to 7800. And what am I going to get? I'm getting all the houses on 3rd.
So Stone, it's right there, across from me.
And I know this one's on the corner right there.
That one.
And it's 7741. You were right. So you can see how sneaky you can be. So the owner of this property,
Doesn't care.
they are 3E Inc., whatever that is, Inc. I have their billing address on Deer Creek. They are in Simi Valley. Apparently it's an LLC. But this little device, or this little,
Boarded up?
it's boarded up, yeah. So this is all the information I know about this house. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 2246 square feet, built in 1940 on a 19,000 square foot lot.
Wow.
And sale price was $654, and they bought it for $18,216.
And he's trying to sell it for $875.
Wait a minute. So when you scroll down on the tax roll, you've got the owner information, location information, tax information, assessment here. Let's see. it tells you what the taxes are per year. So I can get a whole bunch of information about anybody who wants to sell their house. So maybe you don't want to put your house in here, huh, Martha?
I know if I were to want to sell it.
Okay, so now we have characteristics. It tells me it's a single family residence. It tells me the lot frontage, the lot depth, the acreage. The style is contemporary. I beg to differ, but that's okay. The square footage again, and then it gives me some other stuff. Sewer. Type is unknown. Maybe there's no sewer. There's 2 fireplaces. There's central heat. It used to have a wood shake when it was originally built. I don't think it has it now. Oh no! What'd I touch?
You bought it.
Hardwood floor, raised foundation, built in 1940. And let me just show you some stuff.
Oh, it's canceled.
Yes. Right here we have estimated value, okay? Don't let this trick you. So you know how Zillow has estimated values too, there's estimates and all that good stuff. So if you look at this, it has estimated value and it says they are 76% sure that this property is worth about $680. Then they give you a range between $585 and $775 with a deviation of 14%. And the reason I'm pointing that out is because when you're doing a market analysis for someone, you know what? You need to know what the neighborhood is. So if I'm going in a neighborhood that I know nothing about, let's say it's not Downey, because I know a lot about Downey, but let's say I'm going to Bellflower. No, because I don't know much about Bellflower, because I never sell a lot of stuff in there. So I'm just going to use this as a guide, this 680, this 585. I'm not going to use it as, oh my God, I know your house is worth 680, but I know that there's a good chance it's somewhere between 585 and 775, right? Then it goes here. So this, Susan was right. She says it was canceled. So if I click on this blue number, it will bring up the actual listing that was canceled. And yes, it is a boarded up house, okay? But that is also helpful. Let's say this said active. So let's say I wanted to list Martha's house. And I go there and I'm like, she has it listed already. How dare she call me? Okay? So you might want to just check out the listing information. Oh God, I'm going way too fast. Last market sale date and sales history. So it was sold. This is the recording date, 4/29/2016. It was sold for $654. The seller, the previous seller was Susan Noble. It gives you all this information, and it also gives you the mortgage history. So these guys have a mortgage of $515,000 on this property. Okay. And then at the very bottom, it gives you the dimensions of the lot and then where it's located. So this little piece of information, you can, like I said, you can get all kinds of information. So if someone gives you a little bit of info, you might be able to discern a lot of stuff, or at least learn something about where it's listed.
Does
So
it show there, like, if there's a second loan or
Yeah.
a credit line? Okay.
well, let's do, well, it won't say credit line, so you have to be careful. And you have to look and check the dates that it recorded and when those mortgages were put on it to make sure that, you know, it wasn't the previous owners. So on Zillow, when you see pre-foreclosure, the problem is the computer can't read the dates. It says, oh, this was in foreclosure, but maybe somebody bought it at a foreclosure. It doesn't show that on Zillow. It just says pre-foreclosure. So you can, if you go under my search, you can do a number of things. Also, if you go down here, it has the universal land use. So the easiest way to find something is you put in an address or an owner name, and if you know the APN, you can put the APN number. So, Martha, do you want to give me your address?
Sure.
You sure?
Sure.
Okay.
7235
Mm-hmm.
Via Rio Nido.
Okay, so let's say I get an up call or a sign call, or she comes to my open house and she goes, Maria, I really need a market analysis on my house. And I say, okay, give me your address. So the first thing I do when I go home is like, Okay, Via Rianito. Let me see what she has there, because I don't know how big her house is.
Right.
She has a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,000 square foot. She bought it for $247. You have a really big lot, 9,694
That
square
3 bedroom
feet.
is incorrect.
Okay, so that is a good thing. So let's learn some more. This information is taken off the tax roll. It doesn't mean that the tax roll is always correct. So I'm going to give you an example. If you go on a listing presentation, the one I went to in Nevada in Southgate, I got a call, so I look it up and I'm like, oh, it's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. So I think I'm all smart and I do all my comps for 2-bedroom. I call up the owner, she goes, oh, it's a 3-bedroom. Well, what do you mean it's a 3-bedroom? Well, we did some interior conversions. So now my comps are a little bit off because a 2-bedroom is not equal to a 3-bedroom, right? So Martha's telling me this is not correct. Okay.
Square footage is incorrect.
The square footage is incorrect too?
Yep. I have almost 4,000 square feet.
Wow. Did you not have a permit?
No, it's all permitted.
That's very...
I actually, when I bought it, it was a single story. And I took it all the way down, just left one wall
Mhm.
up, and I took it up to a 2-story.
Okay.
So
Well,
I built,
let's look through here and see what the tax roll tells us. So this is your name, and
and it is not anymore, actually. You know, I'm actually surprised. Well, you
What's-
know what?
that's
though?
not your name?
Because it's Lopez. I'm
Okay.
Winkler now.
I know you are, but you did. Okay, let me show you
Okay.
what happened. Let's
Okay.
go down here.
I'm like,
Okay, well, now I went too far down. Okay, so right here, when I'm looking at this, in 1999 you bought it under Martha G. Lopez.
Right. There you go. 'Cause
Then-
it's in a trust.
You put it in your trust.
Yes.
So whatever is recorded on the property is the only thing that's going to show. Now, if you didn't change the name of your trust, it's going to say Martha. So
I did.
you changed the name of your trust, well, then your attorney did not record the deed, so you should talk to Mazin. I'm teasing Mazin.
I know, right? Actually, yeah, I did. So. and
So you
it's-
need to check up on this
Yeah.
because you know what? This can happen
It was
to...
amended.
Right, but he didn't record the deed. That is your problem. He didn't change the deed to put... He left it in the Martha Lopez
Trust of
trust.
Martha, right.
Even though you changed your name on the amendment, he may not have changed the grant deed. So when David was talking to you guys before about title insurance, this is why you have to know about title insurance because now Martha's telling me that's not right. Okay? Title's going to want to know, well, wait a minute, who's Martha Winkler? It says Martha Lopez. So these are things you guys have to be aware of. Let's see. So you refinanced your house in 2013 with cash call.
Yeah.
So you paid off your loan from 2012. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So, Susan, you asked me, what if there's a second or third? Well, she bought this in 1999, right? Now, if you look at the mortgage history, and you're like, well, wow, 209 plus 100 plus 127 plus 310 plus 305.
Yeah.
That you're not reading it right. You have to realize that these are refinances. So her original, when she purchased the house, she had a loan with, well, it's probably further back. I can't go back farther than 2003. You were with Downey Savings and Loan. Then you had an equity line of credit for $100,000. And the reason I know this is because it's Downey Federal Credit Union. And then you increase it to 127, I'm assuming. This is all assumptions on my part. Her and I have not spoken, okay? and then you refinance. Yeah, we're not doing like that ESP thing.
This is a magic.
Then you
show, right?
refinanced with U.S. Bank
Yes.
in 2012. Then you paid down some of your balance,
So
and
then
you.
there you combine it, the 310, you combine
She
it.
paid off all these, got a 310, and then she refinanced at a lower rate for 305. Okay? But you know what? This is all conjecture on my part. If I'm going to take this listing, I'm going to ask Martha. So Martha, you know, I just wanted to make sure, how much do you owe against your property? So I can give you a net sheet, and I want to be accurate. Okay? I don't have to say, well, how come you refinance? No. All right? So Martha's not a let's just pretend she's not a real estate agent. I don't want to go delving into her private financial affairs, but how would I ask her? I would say, so Martha, just so that I can do a net sheet for you, how much do you owe against your property? So sometimes people go, I'll see this and I'll know it's 305. Yeah, I only owe 280.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Did you pay down your loan? Okay. 'Cause if they start like messing with you, you're not going to give them the right information, right?
Because then they'll start lying to you.
Yeah, and you can't,
have the same
you know, and then they say, oh, well, but you told me I was going to net this much. Well, you're going to net this much if you owe that much, but not if you owe that much more. So, and then we can go here, and she bought it for $259, and here's going to be the listing information there. So that's very interesting.
Oh, it's right there, look,
What?
the text, it's all increased.
2001. Yeah, but look at, yes, Martha, did you see that?
Oh,
Susan's
65.
right. Look it.
Yeah.
Your tax roll is $3,365, but the MLS when you purchased it
Let's do-
was only $2,000. So let's go back up here. You look up here, and this is taking stuff. Do you see where it says MLS, MLS, MLS?
Right.
Okay. You have to look at the characteristics, and you go here, and it
Tax
says
shows-
tax roll shows 3,365. Total rooms are 6. Total baths. Now look at this. Is the tax roll shows 4, but the MLS said 3,
Right.
and or that was bedrooms. Sorry, and bathrooms is 5, and the MLS showed 2. So now you know that she's done some remodeling to the house. Okay, because how are you going to do comps on this? So let's. But now when I go to where's the estimated? The estimated value. How do I know what it's basing this estimated value on? Is it basing it on the 2,000 or is it basing it on the 3,300? Right? That's why I say you cannot always use this as a basis. But, okay, so now we know what Martha's house generally has 3,300 square feet. So now I'm going to go to Matrix and I'm going to go to search and I want to do comps. So whether you're representing a buyer and doing comps for a buyer or a seller, we're going to do it the same way. How do you know? You need a picture of the market, a snapshot, right? So we're going to hit active, active under contract, pending, and closed. I don't do expired because basically there's no expireds right now. We're doing single family homes in Downey. So when you're putting in the information on this side, you're not going to find two houses that are 3,336 square feet that have 6 bathrooms and 5 bedrooms, right? There's not going to be two houses that are exactly the same unless you go to Orange County in a cookie cutter community where they're all exactly the same house. So the first thing I'm going to do is, I don't want to put bedrooms because I don't want to skew it too much, but I'm going to look for houses that are 2,800 square feet to 3,600 square feet. Now you might say that's a really big range, but I need to find houses that are similar to hers, and I know that the bigger the houses, the more discrepancy there is. And there's 36 matches right now. But if I'm an appraiser working for a bank, again, we're going to go back to this 1 mile radius. So her house is that, what did you say your address was?
235. Via Avenida.
Oh, shoot. Where did I do that? So it puts the marker here, right? But now look at, there's nothing around Martha's house that's for sale. Do you see that?
Yeah.
So if I did a 1 mile radius right now, I don't get very many properties, do I? Okay.
There's not much.
So there's sometimes when you're doing a big house like Martha's, you are going to be allowed to go out of the area. Okay, so I'm going to erase this by touching that little broom. And I think what I want to do is go back to criteria, and I'm going to put in 90241 only. That gives me 12 matches. Maybe I should do 90240 too. Or maybe I want to do lot size 8,000 plus 15 matches. Because I'm trying to make sure I get houses that are similar. So remember, you're going to do comparables on a house, and you want to make sure they're as like as possible. Okay? And in Downey, that's really hard to do because we have a crazy city. So let's just look and see what we have. So the reason I pull up actives, under contract, and pending, anybody know the reason why?
You wanna see the competition.
Exactly. If I'm going to list Martha's house, I want to know who my competition is and what are the prices of my competition, right? So Martha comes up to me and she goes, I want $2 million for my house. And I'm going, wow, you're going to be the highest priced house that's for sale. That may not work. If she says, I want to sell it for $600,000, I'm like, Martha, you can't sell it for $600,000, right? That's too low. So this gives me an idea of what's available for sale right now, what my competition will be. The under contract and the pending will probably be comparable sales by the time I sell your house. You have to think that anything that's in escrow is going to be closing in 30 to 60 days. So in 60 days, if it takes me 60 days to sell our house, these two that are in contract are going to end up being comps. So I better figure that part out as well. And then the rest of them are things that are sold.
So when you say they're under contract, is that?
It's in escrow.
It's in
It's
escrow.
under contract, active but under contract, and then
Okay.
pending.
Okay.
I don't know. Don't ask me
No.
why they decided to do all
All right,
that.
I didn't see. How far back did you go time frame wise?
Okay, so it automatically goes back 6 months. So any bank that's doing an appraisal on your house usually will go back 6 months. Some of them only want to go back 3 months.
Yeah.
Okay? So you want to get properties that are closest to the sale or the current market. So the first thing we do is we have no idea what Martha's house looks like on the inside, right? Because now you said you remodeled it, so if I look at that MLS, it's not going to be the same.
Yeah.
So Martha, I need your help. Does this look like your house would look like this?
Absolutely not.
Are you sure?
No.
Okay, so we're not going to use
Not
this
even
one.
close.
All right, but we're not going to use this one because we don't think it's representative of Martha's. But on the other hand, let's just keep in mind, you need to know the market. $695, 4 bedrooms, 3,000 square feet. So this is about 300 square feet smaller, but it has a similar size lot. So we might go back and say we should use this one. I don't know. This one's on Downey Avenue, 9821, 5 bedroom, 4 bath. This is a 1-story house, 3,200 square feet. So this one, this is pretty close to what Martha's would be because the lot size is a little bigger, but still. But now let me look inside, and Martha, tell me, does your house look like this on the inside?
Yeah, my kitchen is really big and it has an island and it's open to the.
Okay, and you have upgraded bathrooms
and
like
I-
this?
Yes, yeah. I have, upstairs is a master bedroom with a sitting area, a balcony to the golf course.
Okay.
you know.
Well, and let me just tell you, I like to do a 2-step process when I'm doing a listing, okay? Because just like I told you, the seller that said to me, oh, my house is 3 bedrooms. Well, I did all the comps, I did them wrong. Okay, you don't know what sellers do to houses. My seller took and converted her living room into a bedroom. But she had this huge family room that she added on. So if I don't see that, and plus it was in horrible condition. It needed, oh my God, it just needed a ton of work. So I feel like if I'm going to do a CMA for someone, I like to do a 2-step process. So my process is usually this. Brandon, do you mind if I come by and take a quick look at your house? It'll only be about 15 minutes, but I just want to take a quick look at it, see how many bedrooms you have, what kind of upgrades you have, and then I'm going to come back and do a market analysis for you. Is that okay?
Sure thing.
When can I come?
Tomorrow evening,
That's perfect. What time?
about 5:30.
Okay, so I'm going to go look at his house first, and I'll have this market analysis out to you the day after. Okay? If I don't see his house, how can I compare it? Okay, so think about what you're comparing. So, I mean, I have Martha here. She's telling me whether or not it's going to be close to her house, but I do this. What if I... Okay, let's go back to the previous one. What if I was doing a market analysis on this one? And I'm like, oh yeah, this one, I'm going to put this one in. Look at the difference. There's a $300,000 difference in the price, right? Because I don't know what that house looks like. Okay, here's one on Marbell. And this one is 3,100 square feet, so smaller than Martha's, but similar size lot. And they are asking $1,170,000, and this is a a value range listing.